Hey everybody, welcome to the new segment, Late to the Party, as mostly late to the party, where I'm going to be talking about segments of things, cool things that I've learned that I have no knowledge on, so I'm just going to be giving my opinion on the YouTube channel. So there were two kinds of break internet loves this week, and I wanted to talk about both of them because they were so unique and different in their own way. So we're going to be talking about, obviously, Taylor and Travis, as well as Cory and Forrest. So I want to start actually with the Cory and Forrest talk. So this past week, it actually goes back about a month or so ago when Forrest Frank broke his back. And saw the clip of him falling, breaking his back. It was just, I cringed because I was like, oh my gosh, that's super painful. Fast forward 2 weeks of the doctors being like, this is going to be months of healing, months of repair, months of therapy. He had a miraculous healing, and that was so cool to watch him share online. But he had written a song and basically was talking about making lemonade out of lemons. And, as everyone does, people start to get on trends to try to get a reach out there. And there were artists and creators who started to mock the song in a little bit of a way. And I don't think it was intentionally trying to mock, but it was mocking. As someone who's gone through something very horrific and then shares your story online, and then seeing people that you respect and adore or have followed for years starting to make songs that were mocking, it's heartbreaking. But Cory Asbury, he's one of those guys where you're like, yep, he posts the way he is in real life, which is great. But he made a song about his vasectomy and posted that and was like, ah, ha, ha. And again, there's so many TikTok trends and Instagram trends out there that people just do this without even really thinking. But it actually impacted Forrest in a way that I don't think a lot of creators or musicians realize. And, Forrest was just honest about that. And he was just like, hey, publicly, this was put out and a lot of people are sending this to me. And so publicly, I'm addressing this as he should have. And the response back from Cory was what really, for both sides, was first he was calling, Forrest was calling Cory out, and then Cory responded in love and did not dismiss what he had done or what he had said. He was like, whoa, I didn't realize it came across that way. I thought, I was trying to be funny. I'm so sorry. And they ended up writing two pieces of a song that we are still waiting for, called Misunderstood. And I think why this is so beautiful and unique, and I know a lot of people out there are just going to be like, get over yourself. Oh my gosh, people are just crybabies. They cry about everything. They're too sensitive. It's like when you have gone through something traumatic and you are in the healing process and you start to share that, and people that you respect and adore or love or look up to start to make it a joke, or you, that's how you feel, is like you feel like they're making it a joke or that they are making it a joke. It hurts. It stings so much. It also is the same as that when I've done it, I share my story online, I get attacked and get over yourself. It wasn't that bad of a deal. And it's like, you don't know the full story. You don't know the full scope of everything. And for someone to then take something just for a TikTok trend, it hurts. But Cory and Forrest both came to the table to say, hey, I'm so sorry. Here's where I am. Here's who I am. And now they're like besties. And that, to me, was the perfect way to show, first off, what we should be doing as human beings, but as Christians especially, this is what we should be doing as Christians, is that when something is done wrong, we take it to the person and we address it. Now, someone might say well, he didn't take it to him privately. It's like, well, Cory made the video public. But what also was really neat to see was that Cory and his team took the video down because it wasn't about growth for Cory. It wasn't get over it, I apologize. He literally took this video that he created down and was like, it's not worth hurting somebody's feelings. And he said he hurt his feelings. So he literally took Forrest at his words of, you did something and it hurt. And not a dismiss, Cory didn't dismiss it. Cory didn't say get over it. He said, I didn't intend that. I'm so sorry. I just try to joke. As someone who's gone through trauma, we do try to use humor to joke, but sometimes we accidentally offend. And that is something that someone once told me, you cannot tell someone else that you did not hurt their feelings. So when they come to you and say, hey, this hurt, you don't dismiss it. You're just like, whoa, you do want to say like, this was not my intention. You do want to try to help them understand where you were coming from, but you don't just be like, get over it. So that was the first love story that happened this week that I was really, really like crying over, blame it on the hormones for being pregnant, but also not. It is just beautiful to watch two people come together, who it just was a miss. It was a hit or miss. And someone was able to say, hey, you hurt my feelings, and the other person received it. And now they're besties, which we're super excited, Forrest and Cory, for you guys to come out with the Misunderstood song. That will be our new anthem of Miss Independent from Kelly Clarkson, Complicated by Avril Lavigne. We are waiting for the Forrest and Cory Misunderstood beat to drop. FYI. Now let's switch over to Taylor and Travis. Like, this is also really cool. Awesome. Okay. Let's start off by saying, like, I used to be a Taylor fan when she was country. Then she went off her own ways, and I just kind of stopped listening to her music. Nothing against her, just wasn't my speed, wasn't my style. There's a couple of her tunes that are super catchy, and I'm like, always, you know, you listen to it, you're like, okay, what you made me do, you're gonna blast out to it. It just is, that's just her music. But she started dating Travis over 2 years ago, and they just got engaged this week. And there was something so sweet about some of the stuff that came out from his dad that it happened a couple weeks ago. It happened on August 10th, and they didn't announce it until this last week. Why? Because they're always in the spotlight. And to think of two people who are always in the spotlight, they're not going to run to social media the day of. They're going to post it when they feel comfortable and ready to post it. But they one of the cute things that I read from Travis's dad was that Taylor was getting a little antsy and was like, when are you going to propose, kind of thing. Don't care where, just want you to propose. And Travis wanted to make it this big, elaborate thing. And his dad and her dad both told Travis, like, bro, like, they didn't say bro, probably. But they were just like, hey, like, she doesn't care if you were to propose off the side of a road. She just wants to marry you. She just wants you to propose. And so they went out, they did the brothers, Travis and Jason's podcast. And they, you know, it was, I didn't watch it until like yesterday. I saw some clips, and it was just really cute to see both of them just super comfortable with each other. But also, one of the things that Taylor said that was just very sweet was, she's like, I had no idea what football was. Like, I knew what football was, but I didn't know all of the things about football. But she was able to ask him questions. And she said he did not make her feel stupid for asking those questions. He was like, that's actually a really good question, and and would explain things to her. And she was like, whoa, this is different. And you see the love story of her in the last 2.5 years really different than who she's dated in the past. You see that it is more of like, she gets to banter, and they were all bantering on the podcast. And there was this moment in this clip that was really funny where she's like, oh, I'm, you know, and she looks down, she's like, oh, I'm you know, Travis's girlfriend. And both Jason and Travis like look up like okay. And it was after that he proposed. And what the rumor was from his dad was that they went to dinner, and then he just kind of pulled her off to this elegant little garden where he proposed, very, very much just the two of them. And then they FaceTimed their parents, both sides, and they immediately, like, that his dad was like, immediately knew as soon as his FaceTime came up and they were both there, I knew what this was. And so they got engaged this week, and a lot of people are noticing that difference where he's just different for her, and she's allowed to be successful and not torn down because of that, or feeling like she can't be, but she can also ask questions on something she doesn't know. And so there's this actual relationship versus it, you know, a lot of people were saying like, oh, she just changes herself to be with this new person. But then she's like, I actually started to really like football. And that can happen as you get into a relationship with someone. You start to learn their interests and what excites them. And she was talking about how she was running in the hall because they picked up somebody during a draft, and her friends were like, what are you talking about? And it was just a beautiful thing of, I get to learn with who I'm dating, get to get in their world. But she had no idea about his world at all. But he also didn't seem to know a lot about like how she does things. So both of them are just excited for the other person, which is such a beautiful way to have a relationship. Now, I know we don't want to put celebrities on pedestals. Don't do that. But it is good to look out to other relationships and say, like, is this relationship growing you where you're allowed to get excited for each other, allowed to be in each other's world, ask questions, or do you feel like you're changing yourself for this other person? and that's not being reciprocated. That's not like, you're not allowed to be you're not allowed to accomplish anything cool or great or ask questions without being put down or mocked or made fun of. Like, what kind of love story are you going to adventure into? And it all really does come down to finding somebody who was different. But one of the other cute things that Travis had done, and I thought this was adorable, was so everyone knows that Travis was trying to give Taylor a bracelet. Her whole concerts have been wrapped around these bracelets that you get to pass out. And so he had his number on this bracelet, and he talked about how, both of them talked about how he just was like, I'm Travis. I'm just going to ask the security guard to go down into this area where Taylor's going to be. And like this is the total moment of just him being human, of like, he wasn't like, oh, and she even says this, like, he didn't go through the proper channels. He didn't reach out to the management. And she even asked her management, like, hey, did he ever reach out to get into the suites? Or they're like, no, he didn't. He legitimately was like, I'm Travis Kelce. I'm going to get into her suite. And like, just because my name is known. And they were like, no, sorry. And she's like, yeah, this is not the 70s or the 80s. This is like real life. Like, people are crazy. And no, but it was just this cute moment of him like, okay, I really want this chance. I'm going to try to go for it. Him not being crazy in his own way, but not crazy as like he's a stalker and things like that, which she has experienced from fans before. But it was really sweet and really cute to me that he just was like, I'm Travis. I'm just going to get into this place that I'm going to get into because I'm Travis. And they said no. And he says he left butthurt and was like, oh, I didn't get to see her. And then he finally went through like the proper channels to ensure that she got to meet him, and now they have this love story. So these were two really cool late to the party recaps love stories for this week. Harper wants to say hello. Do you want to say hello? Say hi.
Hi.
So big wave, baby, big wave. Hi. Hi. We were super excited about those two love stories this week, and we wanted to share. And so join us for the next segment of Late to the Party, mostly. Do you want to say late to the party? Say late to the party.
Bye.
Mostly. All right, guys. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.